Welcome, everybody. College football week 2 is in the books. It's time to look forward to college football week 3. I'm Joe with the Game House. Today we're going to go over college football week 3 picks. Okay, week 3 is here. It's time to get down to some week 3 picks. As a reminder, you can find these articles on thegamehouse.com. For more of my picks, this is just a general rundown of some of the bigger games that will be picked in this article here. We're going to scroll to the bottom first, see how I did the last week. I am 150 and 20 overall or 28 overall, sorry, I can't read, 84%, and then 68 and 17 last week for 80%. So we're going to try to get those numbers up here as we move along with this season. Not too many good games to start on Thursday or Friday, so we'll hop in to Saturday, and that is going to have Penn State and Illinois. I think Penn State's able to win this one big. Illinois is kind of a tougher test. It's kind of a sleepy 11 a.m. Central. I believe they're in the Central time zone, I should say. I don't really know the geography that well, but it should be a sleepy game nonetheless, where Illinois maybe keeps it close to start, but then Penn State's able to pull away. Kansas State over Missouri. I don't think we've seen the greatest things from Missouri so far this year. Kansas State, I know they'll play you tough. I like Will Howard at quarterback. I think that's a game they should be able to win and help keep on moving them up the rankings. All right, we're going to keep on moving down here. LSU over Mississippi State. I do think Mississippi State's not getting all the love they deserve. I know I didn't predict them to go a bowl game this year, but I do think they have Will Rogers at quarterback. I think he can make some plays. This LSU secondary might be a little bit susceptible to that with so many transfers coming in. But LSU, I think, is going to win. They're going to get right in this game, even if they don't want to throw the ball very much. Maybe they run the ball in Mississippi State, kind of take the air out of the ball. They'll find a way to win. I don't think that's what they want to do, but if they have to, they will. Iowa State at Ohio is a very interesting game. Iowa State's playing at Ohio. It's kind of a weird scheduling thing. I'm going Iowa State on the road here. I know that the line's pretty close in this one. I would take Iowa State to win and cover. It's a team that's been kind of decimated by some of the gambling stuff, but at the end of the day, I do think that Matt Campbell is a very good coach, and I will trust in him. Louisville and Indiana is a kind of a weird matchup in Indianapolis. Kind of a lighter slate of games this week, so we're going to do the best I can finding games that we should be picking for this article. Going with Louisville in this one, I do think they're going to be improved under Jeff Brom. I don't think we've seen that quite so far. I mean, they did beat Georgia Tech. But they went to a bowl game last year. But I do think they could be a little bit better. And Indiana, I think Tom Allen probably going to be on the hot seat by the season's end, maybe fired. Just a very hard job to keep, very hard job to play well in, especially when you're in the Big Ten East. And when you have non-conference games like this, it's very hard to win those and make bowl games. Florida State beats Boston College pretty easily. Boston College hasn't had the easiest season so far. And we'll keep on going here. Virginia Tech over Rutgers. That's kind of a weird game because Virginia Tech has struggled in recent years. Rutgers looks a little bit better, but I'm going to trust Virginia Tech. I think they have gotten a lot of good play out of Grant Wells so far this season. We'll see if that keeps up. I know he didn't play the greatest last year, but I will trust in that and pick Virginia Tech on the road. San Diego State, Oregon State. I'm going Oregon State here. DJ Uiagalelei looks pretty good for Oregon State. Their defense as well. I don't think San Diego State will be able to score enough points to keep up. Duke over Northwestern. Northwestern looks very, very bad. Duke looks like a pretty good team. Georgia over South Carolina. That's pretty easy for the 3:30 game. South Carolina just kind of like, back of your head, you kind of think maybe they upset because they have upset teams in the past, but it's just very hard to see that happening with how their offensive line is played. Excuse me here. We'll just keep on scrolling down. I have UNC over Minnesota. I think it was a tough matchup last week against Appalachian State, but I do think that they can rebound from that. They have a very good offense, and hopefully their defense can come back. I don't think Minnesota has the offense to really test their defense, so I'm going to go North Carolina to win this one. Ohio State over Western Kentucky. Excited to see that Western Kentucky passing attack against an Ohio State defense, to see what we can find out about that. And then Washington over Michigan State. This is the 5 p.m. Eastern time Peacock game. Michigan State has a lot going on. It's typically a tough team to play, the home field advantage, but just with Mel Tucker's sexual harassment investigation, a lot going on. I think Washington was my pick anyway, but I'm picking Washington for sure now. Excited to see Michael Penix and what he can do against that defense. Moving forward, we have, again, it's not the greatest slate of games. We have Cincinnati over Miami, Ohio. That's a little rivalry from Cincinnati area, but Cincinnati should be able to get the win over Miami. Although I do think it's kind of close. The Red Hawks have a wide receiver named Gage Levaradin, who's a transfer from Southeast Louisiana, who's looking pretty good to start the year. Could make it things close. Tennessee at Florida. Both these teams haven't looked good so far. Florida lost week 1 to Utah, and kind of looks like things could be tough this year. Tennessee, on the other hand, hasn't really gotten that offense flowing like they were last year. Joe Milton still needs to kind of find his rhythm, but I'm going Tennessee. It just looks like Florida's kind of in for a pretty bad season, and if Joe Milton can play like he did at the end of last season when he filled in for Hendon Hooker, I think Tennessee could win this game on the road in Gainesville. The backyard brawl, I have West Virginia over Pitt. Would have picked Pitt. I had a lot of faith in them and Phil Jurkovich at quarterback and Pat Narduzzi, being able to coach them pretty well. But then they lost Cincinnati, and Cincinnati doesn't have many returning starters at all. So I'll go West Virginia because they're at home. They'll be raucous, for this game. And I don't know. I think this is kind of a coin flip game, but I'll go West Virginia just because of last week's results. Syracuse at Purdue. I'm going Purdue. They did lose to Fresno State, but Fresno State's a pretty good team. They get this one at home against Syracuse, and I think they'll be able to defend their home turf. Georgia Tech at Ole Miss. We're going Ole Miss here. Georgia Tech does have some good players. Specifically the running back room is pretty good. Haynes King's now the quarterback. But I think Ole Miss is just going to run the ball and be able to move the ball pretty well with Quinshon Judkins. BYU, Arkansas. I'm going Arkansas for the second straight year. I do like KJ Jefferson a lot. I think their ability to run the football and having this game at home means a lot. Texas over Wyoming. I think a lot of people are picking that, even though Wyoming did upset Texas Tech a couple weeks ago. I think Quinn Ewers will just be too much for the Cowboys. Moving on, I have TCU over Houston. Houston just lost to Rice, so I think this is the pick, but I think both teams might be down this year, and that could be something to watch. Now, College Game Day and Big Noon Kickoff are at Colorado State, so they're at Colorado. But this game probably won't be close. I'm going Colorado to beat Colorado State. And let's see if there's another game we're going to pick here. We'll just say Arizona State over Fresno State. It's a close matchup, so we'll pick that one. Could go either way, but Arizona State being at home, I'll take them. Fresno State did lose a lot last year in terms of Jake Haener now being in the NFL, so we'll take Arizona State to defend their home turf. All right, those are the college football Week 3 picks. Let me know what picks you're making in the comments below. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.